Why do we break our own hearts trying to keep other people whole? We mistake self-sacrifice for goodness, believing that if we give enough, we will finally be loved. When kindness becomes a desperate bid for approval, it ceases to be a virtue. It becomes a weakness that takers will devour without hesitation. This is the story of Emma, a resilient soul who had to lose everything she thought she built, only to discover the quiet strength of self-respect. In the hum of a bustling city office, Emma lived under the silent tyranny of external validation. Every smile she gave was a shield. Every task she carried for others was a hidden plea. Please see me. Please accept me. She took on the weight of unfinished work long after the sun went down. She apologized for space she had every right to occupy. She paid for coffee she could not afford, trading currency for fleeting warmth. To the world, she was generous. But in reality, she was bleeding her spirit dry, mistaking usefulness for genuine connection. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Care about what other people think, and you will always be their prisoner." Emma was a prisoner of her own goodwill, trapped inside a cage built from the fear of rejection. She believed her devotion to Chloe, her closest friend, was anchored in mutual respect. But built on shifting sand, no foundation remained secure. The afternoon light spilled across the downtown cafe, carrying the scent of roasted beans and warm pastries. Emma stepped toward the entrance, holding a small box of baked goods she had prepared specifically for Chloe. Yet just beyond the threshold, a familiar laugh cut through the gentle noise of the room. Chloe sat amidst a circle of colleagues, her posture relaxed, her eyes gleefully sharp. "Emma is so effortlessly manipulated," Chloe's voice echoed clearly through the glass doors. "A few empty compliments, and she will gladly shoulder every burden I give her. She thinks it's friendship. I call it convenience." Laughter rippled across the table. Cruel, careless, absolute. Emma froze. The weight of the box in her hands felt suddenly unbearable. It was not merely words that pierced her. It was the realization that her earnest heart was reduced to a joke. The world outside continued to move, yet inside Emma, an old version of herself quietly shattered. Without a sound, she turned around. She walked away into the cold air, leaving the untouched box behind. She found an isolated bench beneath the quiet shade of the city park. No tears fell. The pain was too deep for frantic grief. It required absolute stillness. Looking down at her reflection in a calm pond, she stared into her own eyes for the first time in years. "How long have I abandoned myself to be accepted by others?" she pondered silently. There is a profound difference between being loved and being useful. When you are loved, your presence is cherished. When you are useful, your absence is only noted when tasks go unfinished. Emma realized her greatest mistake was expecting fruit from trees she watered with her own self-respect. You cannot control how others perceive your worth, but you hold absolute authority over how you treat your own soul. The desire to please everyone is the fastest path to losing your identity. Betrayal, as painful as it feels, is often an invitation to stop pouring into broken vessels. Epictetus taught that freedom begins the moment you detach your dignity from the opinions of others. Sitting in peaceful solitude, Emma did not feel hatred toward Chloe. She felt clarity. Anger is a secondary reaction. Understanding is liberation. She stood up from the bench, taking a slow, grounded breath. The era of over-explaining, pleasing, and begging for a seat at tables that drained her was officially over. Transformation rarely happens with grand announcements. It happens in silence. Emma stopped reaching out first. She ceased sending unprompted check-ins or offering unsolicited help. When others dropped their responsibilities onto her desk, she set them back down with calm composure. "I am unable to assist today." No excuses, no lengthy explanations, just a firm, polite boundary. She reclaimed her mornings. Before the city woke up, she spent time in physical discipline, building physical resilience to match her inner spirit. She turned to classical philosophy, immersing herself in the timeless wisdom of Stoic thinkers who mastered the mind long before modern noise. Without the constant strain of seeking validation, her energy began to restore itself. Her focus sharpened, her work excelled, not for praise, but out of mastery for her own craft. People began to notice a shift. Emma no longer radiated eager vulnerability. She carried a quiet aura of self-contained confidence. She learned that solitude is not isolation. Solitude is the sanctuary where self-worth is rebuilt. Her silence became her strongest armor. Unshakable, calm, and deliberate, she no longer needed to convince anyone of her value. She simply lived it. True strength does not yell. It sits quietly, undisturbed by the weather around it. Month by month, Emma blossomed, not to spite her past, but to honor her future. She had finally stepped out of the shadow of other people's expectations. Months passed. As Emma flourished, the dynamic around her shifted predictably. Takers always notice when a fountain stops running. Noticing Emma's undeniable composure and rising success, Chloe approached her in the office hallway, flashing a familiar, performative smile. "Emma, we haven't talked in so long. Let's catch up over coffee today like we used to," Chloe offered, expecting immediate agreement. Emma looked at Chloe. There was no resentment in her eyes, nor lingering hurt, only complete clarity. "Thank you, Chloe, but my schedule is full today. I hope you have a pleasant afternoon," Emma replied, her tone soft yet unyielding. She gave a polite, elegant nod, turned calmly, and walked forward. She did not look back. You do not need to punish those who mistreat you. Life will handle what they reap. Your only duty is to guard your peace. Losing people who take you for granted is not a loss. It is an upgrade. Rely on your inner sanctuary. Build boundaries not out of anger, but out of profound love for who you are becoming. If this journey resonated with your soul, subscribe to Gentle Mind Shift. Plant this seed of awareness today, and let us walk together toward quiet clarity.